has me around her children, especially little kids, because they become attached
Mhm.
quick.
Yep.
Because I'm a great
Yep.
guy. I'm a great guy,
Uh-huh.
and me and their mother might not work out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then
Mm-hmm.
there's they got a level of comfortability with your children. See, your children are supposed to think all people are strangers. I don't care what
Yeah.
you say. You can tell me I'm wrong, but there's everybody's a stranger. All right.
Yep.
When you allow that person to get that comfortable to your child, that's when certain things can happen.
Yes. Because you trust your mother, so they trust their mommy. So why would mommy let somebody in the house that's gonna do something wrong? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't play around with that. Like my kids growing up, they knew their dad, and then after their daddy and me split up, I was with the guy for 6 years, and he didn't even meet them until shit. I want to say it was a year. It was a year. When we actually like decided we were gonna be together and stuff like that. It was after that, like we met each other's kids and stuff, and we was
Mm.
ended up being together for 6 years, and that's really all they know now. Like they still remember him, and whatever. But that's it. Like no, you can't have all these different people around your kids. You hear all these stories about kids getting touched and different things happening, killed, all of this stuff. Men too. Men they have their babies and have deadbeat baby mamas or whatever, and they be beating women and stuff, and you know, them women don't be liking their kids for real and stuff. So you got to be careful when it comes to these babies. They didn't ask to be here, but it's up to us to protect them until they can protect themselves at least, if nothing else. So
Yeah.
you got to
So
make sure they good at all times.
this is for the chat and for the panel, of course. And right now it's only me and you, so we'll give our perspective on it. How important do you feel the meet and greet is? Like, should you do it early or should you wait like to the middle? How important is meeting and greet? Like you meet somewhere like McDonald's,
Right,
not a date, just a meet
right.
and greet to make sure you're not getting catfish. How important is that to dating?
I think it's very important. It's very important because you know, your kids shouldn't just see this person in your house one day and they just, they wake up in the morning and this person just there, or that type of thing. There should be an actual setting where there's a conversation or an introduction to who it is and that sort of thing. And really, no matter how old the kids are, even if they're small, you just want to, um, I'll say kindergarten age or whatever, even if they're small like that, you at least want to just introduce. They know their name, that sort of thing. Your kid just shouldn't just wake up one day and it's some man standing in your damn house. They don't know who the fuck. They just in the kitchen with you. You in there cooking something or whatever. They in the kitchen with you, or, you know, they sitting on the couch with you watching TV, and they just see that happens so often. Like, you just start bringing the person in your house and like the kids are just not considered at all. Like their input is not considered. Um,
Mhm.
I think it should be because kids are people at the end of the day. Yes, they're supposed to listen to us and we run our house and all of that. Yeah. But when it comes to them sharing their space where that's the place where they're supposed to feel the safest in the world, I think that they should know who it is that's in there with them. So yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely. All right. I think the meet and greet is definitely important
Hmm.
because um, it's another way to break the ice. You know what I'm saying? Like so,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give an example. I like to give examples to kind of like let you know what I'm talking about. So um, you meet and greet with the person. Hold on, we got somebody in the back chat. We got the beautiful queen, the verbal assassin, coming on up. Peace and love to peace and love to verbal. Yeah.
Hi.
All right. So how you doing? How you doing?
Good.
All right. So we're giving you jump right in. We're giving the perspectives on the question I just put on the panel and in the chat. It was how important is meeting and greeting, and I was just about to give my perspective. So going right back into it. I think it's important because the example I was going to give is, you go on your meet and greet. You see if you like them, if you're physically attracted to them, if there's some sort of chemistry, and go right back to engaging back in conversation on the phone. And now, if they're really into you, you feel the energy of the conversation heighten more because, like, they were like, "Damn, he looked good," or "He was handsome," or you're like, "Yo, shorty was dead. I'm really gonna really put a good effort towards this. I ain't gonna mess this up." You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a great tool during dating, especially if you got a long term end goal. That's my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything on that, verbal?
Um, well, I just came up to say hi to you guys. Hi. I was
that's
in
what,
the chat.
that's
April, you did a great job with the first half. I know it can kind of sometimes be nerve-wracking, but you did a great job. So I just wanted to let you know. And Chef, you're doing a great job with your channel.
I appreciate it.
Some
I
I
thought we
appreciate
were
that.
camming up, so I'm gonna go off camera because I thought we was camming
Oh,
up, but
we
I
can
guess that was
cam
the
up.
first half.
Nah, we can cam up. I just gotta
just,
pay. I gotta pay
yeah,
attention to the chat. They was yelling at me for not paying attention.
I'm just stuffing my face.
So, okay, so I have a question.
What's the
I
question?
was I was listening earlier, just a little bit ago, and I guess there was a question from someone in the chat asking, was the question, is it okay for women to ask men to marry them? Was that the question? Did I get that right?
Yes, it was.
That was.
Yes, it was. That was definitely the question.
Mhm.
Okay, so you said, I think you said, Chef, that you would like that.
I would. I would embrace it, but
Why?
I also said I would go back and do it and outdo her. I would accept it
Why would you embrace it, and why would you have to go back and outdo her? Why do you think that is?
for the traditional role in the marriage. It's
Okay,
no
and what is that?
the man asking the woman, getting permission from her father.
Bingo. So the reason why you would go now, you would be flattered, and that's why you're saying you would embrace it because that's not something that women normally do. Normal women don't do that. So you would be flattered that this woman would actually, for me, stoop to that level to ask you to marry her. So that's that part of you embracing it. But your manhood dictates that you now have to come behind that and you have to be the one to ask. You have to do a follow up. When women are asked by men to be married, we feel no need at all whatsoever to do a follow up to that proposal because we are the ones who are supposed to be proposed to. That is the
Right.
natural order of things. That's why you would want to go back and redo it.
Absolutely.
It's just not something that women should do. Period, point blank.
Yeah.
Don't
Right.
do that. If a
Yeah.
man
Oh,
loves you, he will make it known. He will
Absolutely.
do it. And if he's not doing it, no answer is your answer. You move
Hmm.
on and you don't waste time. You never as a woman put yourself in a position where you are begging a man for your hand. You just don't need to do it because men know what they want and they know what they don't
Absolutely.
want and they will make it clear.
Absolutely.
That's that's all I wanted to say. It just burns me when any woman would even consider asking a man to marry her. But why would you do? You're putting yourself in a masculine role, and then you wonder why you're not being treated and adored and respected, honored as a woman. Pick a lane.
man.
Pick
Right.
a lane.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. I mean,
Um,
I can't even say nothing else to that. pick your lane and make sure that's where you want to be. But like I said, I definitely still would embrace it. I don't. I would think. I would wonder why she wants to do it so fast or whatever. Because for me, that's my end goal. So I would probably already beat her to the punch. You know what I mean?
I think all men would be flattered by it. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be normal to be flattered by that, because it's always flattering when someone cares about us, loves us, likes us, or is attracted to us. Even if we don't feel the same for them, it's still flattering that someone feels that way about us. So I
Right.
get that you would like, okay, this is kind of, but
Uh,
there would be something in your spirit as a man that would not sit right with you. That's why you already know you would have to come back and you would have to outdo her because you're trying to correct something
yeah.
that went
Right.
wrong.
Uh-huh. Or she just beat
Yes,
me to the
because
punch.
it's just unnatural. Like a woman down on her knee, like,
Yeah.
Why would
it's
you do that?
I don't know.
like
I don't know why she would
you
do.
about to get some heat.
Right.
What you about to do?
Uh,
Look,
some women demand
okay.
marriage though. They ain't about that dating life for too long. They demand marriage anyway. Like,
Right. But there's a
Yeah.
way to do that without asking him to marry you.
oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying most women that's their end goal. Period. Like that's what they've seen all this. That's what they want. That their dating
Yeah.
purpose is to find that ideal mate, that
Mhm.
ideal long term partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why women should not waste too much time. You have to get in,
Thank
get
you.
on, and get out.
Uh
And
huh.
as soon
Thank
as you see that it is not going, you're at the fork and it's going left and you want it to go right, it's not going that way. Well, then that's when you make your exit.
Uh
You let
huh.
them go their way and you go yours. But dating is a numbers game. That's just what it is. And the majority of people that we meet and date, we will not have a relationship that works out with them. That the majority of people. So you have to get them out. It's like you have these stick figures on a board, and you got to cross them out because somewhere within that line of stick figures of men that you're going to date, that one for you is going to be within that line, but you have to cross them out really quick and get because the quicker you get them out, the quicker you get to
Yeah.
the one that you're supposed to be with.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. You gotta weed them out, verbal. Gotta weed them out. So let me get this spicy. Get them out of here. All right. So Spicy Red asked me a question. She said, "How do you feel about a woman who you desire has kids, but she doesn't have custody, and she pays child support? From a man perspective, what impression does that send? Uh, for one, it's gonna remind me not to have kids with her. Uh,
Ooh.
for two, that's not a bad thing, you know. But maybe you got to think about it. Maybe the father wanted to be in his kid's life that much, and maybe she felt like moving on with her career, and the kids had a better opportunity with the father. I'm not saying that's all situations, but sometimes that's the case in some situations. So um, I couldn't give a blanketed perspective on that, but what I can say is treat her like the niggas get treated. Make sure she making them payments on time. That's what I can say because that says a lot when you're complaining about what you got to do for your children, what you brought into this life, what made you a man, what solidifies your manhood. You know, give
Mhm.
prudence to that. So I appreciate that question. Spicy Red Cooking Diva. Word.
Spicy red.
All right. So Emmanuel Briggs, what's up, my brother? He said, I've been through that situation. Exactly. It all depends on why she doesn't have custody. Absolutely. It definitely all depends.
Mhm.
All right. A man who loves you will do whatever, whenever, however. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely.
That is true.
Yeah, I would embrace that she loves me more. But like my mom always told me, find a man who loves you more than you love him. Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah, don't you
yes.
do that? Yeah. I always say I love you more. I always say that. I'm not I love you more man. Your mom's a very smart woman. Salute to her. Salute to her energy. Yo, what's going on, Dome? I see.
But like Verbal said, wasting that time. That's why you have those important conversations early on because if you see from pretty much the start that y'all ain't on the same page or y'all ain't trying to do the same thing, it's just like get it out of there. And then if they are not totally truthful and you do get past and go further and get somewhere, but you see it, there's signs showing you, they are showing you like, look, I don't want the same thing you want, but I want you, but I don't want what you want, you know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much what it usually is. Get out of there, let them people go.
Let him go.
The like Verbal said, the faster you let the wrong one go, the quicker you'll get the right one.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
even
And the
if
thing,
spend that time by yourself, that it's okay to be by yourself for a while. It's okay to, you know, um, just enjoy life by yourself, get to know what you like, what you don't like, see the world by yourself. It's okay to do all of those things because, and then when you do have somebody doing those things with you, you appreciate it in a different manner, in a different way,
Absolutely.
can
but
I,
don't
can
just have
I,
somebody
oh,
just
sorry, I'm
because you don't
sorry.
want to be by yourself or because you feel like I spent this amount of time with them, do I just throw that away? Yes, throw it
Yeah,
away. Throw that shit
right.
away
It's
and
trash.
keep it moving.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You making yourself miserable on for no reason, on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Life, you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know when the next day is coming, if it's gonna be there for you or not, if you're gonna be a part of it or not. So, you better control what you can control in your life and, and get those people that are not for you out of there.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's why I say too, along those lines, April, is that it's important for women to listen to what men say, believe what they're saying to you about the relationship
So,
and
Chef,
how they feel.
how do you feel about now I heard this from a guy,
Can,
he's
can you guys not hear me?
a
I mean,
self-proclaimed relationship
Oh, okay,
expert
okay.
or life
I don't think. I
coach
don't
type of
think.
person. Can you hear me? I can't hear
Uh.
y'all. I'm gonna go
Oh.
out and come back in.
All right. Go ahead, verbal.
Yeah, what I was saying, I don't think she could hear me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what I was saying along the lines of what April was saying about men and watching them and taking your time to see who they show up as for women. That's why I always say that you should believe what a man says to you, but not above his actions. And what I mean by that is, so okay, so you know how they say that you don't listen to his words, you listen to it, you watch his actions and his actions will tell you, right? But and that is absolutely true. But I believe in the case of a man who's telling you that he loves you and wants to be with you and wants to create this life with you, but his actions are not showing that, then you have to believe the actions, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a man is saying to you that he does not want a relationship,
Hmm.
he does not care about you in that way, and he's not interested in anything long term, however, his actions are making you think that he is, you don't listen to the actions in that case. You just listen to the words.
Mm-hmm.
Because those words of affirmation or him saying no I don't but then showing you that I do, that's the trick, that's the game, so that
Yep.
it keeps you in this space of confusion, like, well, he treats me like I'm his girlfriend, he acts like I'm his girlfriend, but what he's saying verbally and even what he might be saying to other people, oh, we're not together, we're not, you can't. So in that instance, you have to pay attention to the words and not the action. Does that make sense? And
Yeah.
the reason
Yeah.
why I'm saying that is because it should match. It should always match.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not always going to be a case of watch the actions and not the words. Sometimes you're going to need to actually listen to the words even when the actions don't match up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
show and prove.
Mhm.
Show and prove. And prove. Let me read
Yeah.
the questions in the chat. Um, Michelle says, why do men love
Well,
let's
because
go
I
there?
always say like a man
So that's for the
will say
panel.
what
Go ahead. Either one of you can answer it. Why do men love a bitch?
oh oh my
She
goodness.
said,
Oh
let's go
my
there.
goodness.
She want to know why. Why do
Wait, I'm sorry. What was the question?
I
why do
think
men?
a lot of
I
men
don't think she can hear us.
they want the best.
Uh,
April, can you hear
Yeah,
us?
let's go there. They want
Okay.
the best of
I
both
don't think she can
worlds.
hear.
So it's like
Yo, April, you bugging, babe. You bugging. She gonna come back. All right. Yes, I can tell you. Maybe they don't they like that type of personality in a woman. That's what they like. I couldn't tell you because that's not my thing. Um, but if she looks really good, I'll put up with it for a little while. But that's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that we have to define. Okay, so what was the question? I was out what I was asking. I don't think April could hear. What was
Oh,
the
okay.
question?
So Michelle Plaskoff says, "Why do men love a bitch?"
Okay, so um, first you have to define what you mean by bitch, because what I do know about the men that I've dated, the experiences I've had, my uncles and cousins or what have you, men like a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Men do not want a doormat, specifically an alpha male, which is what most women want.
Right.
So you have to come to the relationship with a voice and not be afraid to use that voice. You should use that voice respectfully because men need to feel respected by you. And if you want this relationship to work, then you need to use your voice respectfully. But you should never ever be afraid to disagree or to voice your opinion, and to actually sometimes you have to give your man a little guidance on a way where he is not gonna, if you think that he's veering off a wrong path.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an art in doing that with men where they can appreciate it and they can hear you and not think that you're trying to emasculate them. So it just depends on what do you mean by bitch. Now that question sounds like a book that I read. I can't remember them. It was two ladies, I think. And the book was called Why Men Love Bitches. I read that book. I have that book. And if you read that book, the woman isn't actually really a bitch, like in a negative way. But what she is she's confident. She understands who she is as a woman. She embraces her femininity, and she knows what she wants. And she's not afraid to not only voice what she wants and what she needs in her relationships, but she's also not afraid to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
That is what a bitch in a relationship is to me, is the woman who's not afraid to walk away from a situation that does not serve her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got a totally different perspective of a bitch, but I can agree with that definition of it, that define of it. Mine would be like um pretty much the action of the woman. So like say if we had sex, you know, we agreed to have sex, it was mutual, and then she went and told everybody I raped her. That's a bitch. That
Yeah,
bitch told everybody I raped her.
yeah. That is not, yeah, that's something completely and totally out of, yeah, it's not, I get what you're saying, but yeah, no,
That's the only way I can answer that question. Now, a woman with like you said, that challenge. I'm all for that. Like I need that.
Right.
That's the type of woman I like them from the ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
That's word up. So
Yeah.
if that's what you mean, that's what a bitch is. I don't see that as a bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and but that's why I'm saying that book, what the question sounded like, that book, Why Men Love Bitches, is a very popular book. It's a really good book,
Uh
um,
huh.
but it's it has nothing to do with being a bad person, a bad woman, a low life trash woman who disrespects people. The book is really about being full, quote unquote, full of yourself, loving yourself and having healthy boundaries and standards.
Right.
That's what it's really about.
Absolutely. All right. So let me read some of the stuff in the chat. I know I missed a lot of stuff. All right. So Spicy Red Cooks and Diva says, late Miss Maya Angelou said, when someone tells and or show you who they are, believe it. Absolutely agree with that.
Yep.
Uh, I don't mean a bitch like a bad woman, rather moody or sometimes verbally aggressive. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I'm
I'm cool with that. Too blessed to be stressed is in the building. So, Queen, I see you. I see you out here on all these platforms. Big up to that viral video of yours breaking down the perspective of what women put up with and what they shouldn't and how they shouldn't act and how they should receive that king's knowledge. Word, salute to you again. I love that queen right there. She's very knowledgeable. She's definitely someone I like to listen to when it comes to the universe between a man and a woman. Let's go. For all the
Mm,
queens and beautiful perspectives. I gotta let y'all know every time I come on the chat, I appreciate all your energy. And that's no gimmick. It helps me grow. It got me through surviving love, and that's the real deal right there. So salute to that again. It always just makes me say things when I see the beautiful people that I met on this platform come through and show the boys some love. I've been here for like almost 2 years, and these people in blue have stuck with me for that long, and it just lights up my eyes when I see them. Salute, word.
mm-hmm.
So let me see. She said I never read the book. I will look it up. I guess she's talking about the book you talking about, verbal. That's
Yes, Why Men Love Bitches.
all
It's a great book.
right. So if you wanted to, if you wanted to, this is for the chat and for the panel. If you wanted to impress someone, and show them that you're really for the long haul, what would your ideal date be?
Since I'm up here, I'll speak on it. Is that a question for men?
Yeah, it's a metro sexual question.
Is it?
Anybody can answer it.
Okay, so I have a certain perspective
Uh huh.
about women and men and dating. And I am a firm believer and expect to be courted. And if I'm not going to be courted or a man doesn't want to take that type of time to do so, then he's not the man for me. I say all this to say that I personally would not plan, I don't plan dates. I don't plan dates, especially in the beginning of a relationship, because I think that is a man's job to impress me as a woman, and I think that fulfills a man when he can get the satisfaction of a woman and he can please her, because men are goal oriented. And when a man is fulfilling that, he's reaching his goal, he sees that he's pleasing you, that makes him actually like you more because he knows that he can make you happy. And that's very important to men, to make the woman they like and care about or love happy. That's important. And so you
Uh
have to
huh.
give him the space in the room to do his man thing and let him do it. So for me as a woman, that's why I said, is that question to men, I wouldn't personally plan a date to impress a man. Now if we're in a relationship, we've been together for a while, it's our anniversary, it's his birthday, then yeah, it's all good. But just to nab him, to get him, I don't do tricks.
Right. And you shouldn't. So here's where I'm gonna go with that. So if a man takes you to Miami on his birthday, that's not a good date. If he takes you and it has nothing to do with he was already gone or something like that, that's the difference between the date. It's his intentions, it's why he's doing it, and these are the things you have to look at when a man is courting you, when a man is showing you what he got. And the way I would like for the queens to answer it, maybe sometimes I gotta be more direct with my question and I'm getting better. I'm growing as a host and I'm keep doing my thing. But um I would like for you to say what would show you that he's really serious about you during the dating process. Which date would say that? What kind of date?
April, hi, you're back. I'll let you take it.
Hi, I'm back. Well, letting me know that he's serious. Being consistent, keeping his word, um, just basically, whatever, just the communication should be consistent. Um, the things that he plans and things like that.
Uh-huh.
Consistency. Say that. I just think that, there should be constant communication. He should be checking up on me. Yes, he should be planning things. He should be trying to think of different ways for us to get together. And, because a man, usually when he's interested, he tries to find ways he wants to talk to you, he wants to see you, he wants to spend time with you, and those sorts of things. So I just think, and then when we do speak and we plan something, or whatever he says, he should stand by that.
Hmm.
He shouldn't waver from that. um and that for me is like, makes me know that he's serious, because he's not going to be flighty, or he's not going to try me. Men will, sometimes they will try to plan things, and then they're no call, no show, they're late, they're here, they're there,
Hmm.
and you really don't know what they're doing. So I really think when a man is consistent, when he wants to speak to you on the phone, he wants to like talking to you, and planning things, and wanting to meet up with you the next week. He always wants to meet up with you and that sort of thing.
Right.
And just being consistent and standing by whatever it is that we talk about, he should follow through with that.
All right.
Yeah, I agree completely. I totally agree. I think consistency is the main way that you will know how a person really feels about you and if they're
Hmm.
serious. Um, that's really the only thing that's really going to tell you is the consistency. I mean, one fantastic romantic date, and then you don't hear from him for 2 weeks. And then he
Right.
texts you at 10 o'clock at night saying WYD. He can't even bother to write the words out. Yeah, that's just something else a little shaky there. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, for me personally, any man that is actually, it's actually turned into a real relationship where he loved me. It was a real relationship. He never ever went missing.
Hmm.
There were never times where I could not reach him if I wanted to.
Right.
The phone was always picked up, or if I hadn't called, which I don't really do much calling because I let men pursue. But let's just say we're, a few months into it and I feel comfortable that I can call him, he's picking up the phone. Those are the relationships that I've had. Those are the men that I've been with that have actually turned into, real relationships. So does he answer your call? Does he text you back and it doesn't take him 5 hours to do so? If he's in a meeting and you call him, obviously can't answer in a meeting, but and a man told me this, one I very much respect. He has since passed away. It's my cousin. He was a really wonderful man. So he gave me a lot of information, and he was dating his wife, but they were just dating at the time. And he said, when, because I would talk to him about my own, experiences with any, guy I'm dating. I would bounce stuff off of him. And it's always great for a woman to have a man that you trust and respect, who will give you the truth, not tickle your ears, and who will put a mirror up to your face and tell you what you may be doing wrong, you know.
Uh-huh.
So that's a sidebar. But he told me, even if I'm in a meeting and I can't answer when she calls, in the next 5 or 10 minutes or so, I will excuse myself from that meeting, go outside, text her or call her really quickly and let her know why I could not answer that phone call and when I will call her.
Right.
Okay, that's what he said. He's like, as a man, if it's someone that you really are into, you just do not ignore her calls and texts. You just don't do it. It just doesn't happen. So look out for that too. The communication. How responsive is he to you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And because he cares about what she's thinking. He doesn't want her mind to wander, and he also cares, what is it that she needs, or what is, she's calling, she needs
Right,
something, or she wants something,
right.
and he cares about that. So so yeah, so that's important. The communication and answering the phone calls, not always text messages, phone calls, like that's important
Yeah.
to be able to call someone and they answer their phone and be able to speak to someone on the phone.
All
Because
right.
people fall in love with text messages, and I don't get it. I don't.
Can't understand it. And it's always my thing if I meet a new man and he's texting me, I'm turned off immediately, because to me that signals that you're not alpha enough, you're not man enough to pick up a phone and talk to me like a man would do to a woman. So it looks weak to me, and it's trying. I know this is this new millennial, stuff that they got
Yeah.
going on, but it's just, there's, what they say. I know our mother, y'all have heard your mom say this. I know I have, or your grandmothers, that there is nothing new under the sun. Dating is also one of those things. And the reason I say that is because although there are different ways to date and people are dating differently, when someone is serious about you and they're really looking for something real, they're going to make a true connection with you. And it is not going to be over text. It's just
Absolutely.
not.
All right.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
what about when you try to talk to a woman and she don't want to give you the phone number? She only want to
She
text.
doesn't like you
What
and
do
you
you
move
care
on.
about? Huh?
She doesn't like you and you move on.
That might not be true.
So why wouldn't she want to give you your phone number, her phone number, Chef?
Uh,
Uh,
real private, man. It's just real
no,
private. You gotta,
no,
you gotta,
no,
you gotta
sir,
take them there. You gotta take them there.
no,
You gotta
sir.
break, yo, you gotta break down them layers.
How many layers can you break down in that first interaction asking for a phone number?
Sometimes it's worth it.
I mean, breaking down layers takes time and getting to know a person. You're standing there, you see a person, you see this woman, she's attractive, you like the way she
Mhm.
carries herself, and you're like, let me go ahead over here. And she just isn't interested. How many layers can you break down in that interaction?
As far as making her feel comfortable enough that she can trust me with her phone number, her personal information. I think there should be a lot of layers. If a woman is vulnerable as far as information and stuff like that, because you don't want to give the wrong person access to you right away. You know what
Okay, but that's what Google Voice is for.
I'm just saying.
Ladies, I'm talking to the ladies in the chat. Anyone listening, get a Google Voice number.
Uh
You
huh.
can't trace it. They won't have your real phone number, but you can set it up where it comes right to your same cell phone. And if they're not right, you can delete that number, or you can just completely block them, and they have no way of accessing you. They don't have your actual personal phone number. It's an internet number. And so when you're now here dating, have that, you know before you start giving out any personal information.
I'm
So
just.
maybe she doesn't have a Google Voice number to give you, Chef, but women like attractive men just like men like attractive women. And I don't understand where I'm hearing certain men, not you, Chef, but certain men thinking that women are supposed to just want to date you just because you ask them to date you. We
Right.
like we like our eyes to be tickled too, you know. We like that little flutter and that butterfly. And we like to be like, oh, he's hot, he's sexy. You know what I'm saying? If we think you're sexy and hot, you're getting a number, whether it's a Google number or anything else, because we're gonna want to see what you're about.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
Now that's usually how it goes. I'm just saying for the instances that it don't go like that. That's all I was saying. It
Oh, okay.
for me it normally goes with the way you're going. If I'm trying to get a number, you know what I'm saying? I usually don't really
Uh-huh.
have those issues. For one, because with that woman, I'm within my lane already. I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm not dealing with somebody who's not going to be, designed for me because I was her friend first. I make sure that there's that type of chemistry anyway. You know what I'm saying? Before I play myself and get turned down, and I could have just found out if if she was into me or not, and save myself the time and humiliation. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't really be having
right.
those.
I mean,
I don't,
I think you can be persistent if you know the woman a little bit. Like, let's say you meet her through work or something like that, and you're gonna see her again. There are ways to incrementally get her to start to be interested in you. You know, and if she's not physically attracted initially, your personality, your swagger, your confidence as a man can really get you over that hump of maybe not necessarily being her physical type.
Yes.
But if
uh-huh.
you just want in cold from somebody you saw at the supermarket and she says no to the number, then you're just gonna have to chalk that up and
Oh yeah. Oh,
buy your groceries and go home and eat your food.
oh yeah. Definitely. So too blessed to be stressed says this is what she says. She says men are intimidated by me. They say I always look mean. I think I just have
Oh,
resting bitch face.
yeah.
That's probably what
Me and you both
we
be
were talking about
blessed.
earlier.
Yeah, I've had that before too. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having a resting bitch face
Yo,
because
what is
Uh-uh.
sometimes
that?
you'll be in the store as a woman and a man who you don't know will ask you, why don't you smile, girl? Smile. April, I'm sure you've had this experience. Why aren't you
Yeah.
smiling? And it's very
Yeah.
irritating because why aren't you smiling? Why should I be going to buy my stuff from the store, handling my business, and I should be walking around with a smile plastered on my face all day like an idiot? I don't think so. So it's weird.
Right.
However, is it blessed to be stressed? If you are in a situation like, let's say you're going to a party or something like that, and you're in the mood where you want to have a man approach you, then you're going to have to be approachable and you're going to have to work on the resting bitch face in those type of situations. You know, I don't have a problem with resting bitch face, but if you want a man to approach you, you're going to have to work on resting bitch face because it's hard to approach people anyway. And it's hard for men to do so. And they're in the position where they have to do most of the approaching.
Right.
So your job as a woman to make it easier for him to approach you. Not that you don't have to approach him, but you can give him the signs that say, I can approach her and she's not going to bite my head off.
Uh
Yes.
huh.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yes.
I mean, I see if I can make her laugh. If I can make her laugh, then there's still a chance. It's still a, because look, I know sometimes women
I'm giving.
are different than the way a man is thrown off. The kids could be late to school and in lies her resting bitch face. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. It's just that her schedule was thrown off. They missed the bus. Now she had to drop them off to school. Now she late to work, and in between late to work, you see her at the 7-Eleven getting her coffee, which she normally get at 8 o'clock. Now she getting at 8:15, and here you come talking about, yo, what's up, man?
You better not come. Come out. What's up, mom? See, see.
Right. So sometimes the resting bitch face is needed sometimes, but I do
Right.
understand, I do understand a woman, so I'll just see if there's some sort of you know laughter or something because
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's a good way to do it. That's what I was going to say for the men. If you come across that and you find her attractive, but you see she's got resting bitch face on, if you really want to talk to her, you feel that's that thing for her, it's better to not tell her to smile because you don't know what happened. Her father could have just died. You know what I
yeah,
mean? She could have just gotten all her
Yeah,
rent money stolen. You don't know why she's not smiling, so don't tell her to smile. Ask her if she's okay. How's your day
yeah,
doing going? You look a little upset. Are you all right? Ask her that.
hmm
And then she might open up the plug and be like, no, I'm not all right. And this happened to me. And then you're that person who's not just trying to get her to do something that's going to make you feel better, like her smiling, but you're interested in why she doesn't have a smile. So you're asking
hmm
questions. And I think
right.
that's something that men should do instead of telling women, random strange women, to smile.
that's awesome. I love that.
So I got another great
Yeah,
question. Um, Donna says, "What's up with the text dating? That's a deal breaker with me and my man."
yeah.
How
No.
you feel? I think so. Yeah. No, I mean I can do it, but I'm just not good at it. I'll be
I
missing a
just
couple
don't do
in
that.
there.
It's like text messaging for me, I feel like it's supposed to be, a quick form of communication when you can't have those phone calls. It's just checking up on somebody, maybe asking a question, following up with a conversation you had, something like that. Not meant for these huge paragraphs and you just pouring out your heart and soul through a text message. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I just can't. Like, I can't have these text message relationships. You don't ever really build anything with the person. You build it with the phone. You don't even know if it's really the other person. You don't know who's on the other end actually answering you. I mean, you have an idea, but it could be somebody playing a joke on you or something. You see all these people getting catfish. So but
Mm,
yeah, I just feel like, conversations, phone conversations, you hear the person's voice, you have their personality, their feelings behind what they're saying, all of that, FaceTime, you're looking at them, you can see their face, there's something for you to connect to. Um, Text messaging, I feel like, that's just for people who don't really have the best of intentions, or they're not comfortable with expressing how they feel and expressing emotion. And so it's more better for them to just say what they need to say through a text message. So yeah, so I
mm,
mean, to each their own, but it's just not.
mm-hmm. All right. So Michelle, she been bringing the funk tonight. She says my husband
Yeah,
was a coworker, and we started as friends. And I would come to work bitchy and stressed, and he made me laugh. Then made me breakfast. That's what's up. Appreciate that. Word.
yeah,
Sometimes you gotta get beneath them layers. That's what I was saying, man. Sometimes it's worth it. All right, starting out as friends is good before sex. Absolutely,
yes, yes,
you should get to know each other before sex and emotion. Yeah.
yeah,
Somebody had asked about what about love on first sight. Um, Sometimes like love at first sight is hard to avoid. Sex and emotion. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say that because a lot of women have gave themselves to me on the first date. Not the first time talking, not the first time, interacting, but the first time meeting, we had sex. And I didn't look at them any different. So, I guess that's another situation to each his own. You know what I mean? What else? Donna's agreeing with Michelle. And Michelle says you need to take the time to get to know someone. Absolutely. Time is something. That's why I said dating with a purpose because, like I always tell you, like I always remind everybody, Time is something you can't get back. If you don't look at your time as your greatest possession, then you will lose a lot of life. And if you don't understand what I mean by that, I want you to take some time to yourself and understand what I mean by that. So yeah, we're getting some great stuff in the chat, and I definitely appreciate all the love from the kings and the queens that came through. All right. So Michelle says, so many people confuse lust and love.
Yes.
All right.
So basically, along what she's saying, she's absolutely correct. And what you were saying, you think that it can happen. For me, I don't think that true love happens on first sight because true love takes time.
Uh-huh.
And being in a relationship and having a spouse or what have you, you start to see that initial attraction, the lust part of a relationship, that initial excitement and all of that, that's really actually a bonding agent. And everyone has, both parties have all these chemicals going through their brain and their bodies and all of that. And that is to bond you to your partner, specifically biologically for the raising and providing of children.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biological part of it. So I definitely think there's lust at first sight, absolutely. But true love, real love, no, because love changes over time. And sometimes it goes away, and sometimes it gets deeper, and it's far beyond those initial stages of love.
Uh-huh.
So, to really love someone, you have to really know them. You have to see them in all kinds of situations. You have to see them at their worst and see, and when you see them at their worst, you have to be able to recognize if you still love that monster that's right in front of you, because we all have our days and our moments.
Mm-hmm.
That's love. When you wake up every morning and you decide to continue loving this weirdo.
That is weird.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to look at it. Absolutely, Verbal is spitting that fire tonight, yo. Verbal always spit that fire, most definitely. All of y'all be bringing that fire. Every last one of y'all in this chat on this panel bring that real, for real, for real. All right, so we got a question for Act April. What's your view on men that kiss and tell? Him and her had a secret relationship, then broke up. He's out their relationship. He outs their relationship. How do you what do you feel about that? Donna asks you.
I feel I just feel like it's childish. It's childish. I feel like when a person does that, they are trying to hurt that person or trying to embarrass them in some kind of way. So it's not any they're also hurt themselves and they're trying to make that person feel what they're feeling. Um, Maybe trying to sway the opinion of people that they know or people that know her or him. Um, Trying to embarrass them publicly, trying to, uh, make them hurt the way that they are hurting. I don't agree with it at all. But then too, let me just say this: I don't feel like, and this is where individual preference comes into play, and the interaction that you choose to have are very personal. Um,
Mhm.
so I don't feel like it's anybody's business of who you have a sexual relationship with, but I also don't believe in being kept a secret either. So, for them to be, have had in some type of secret relationship or that nobody knew about and he chose to make it public, someone was doing some kind of wrong, I feel like. Um,
If a
so I
man wants
mean,
to keep you secret, you are not the one, honey. Just know
Mhm.
yeah,
that.
yeah. And right. And so, somebody was doing some wrong. They were doing something they didn't have no business. And that's where honesty comes into play. Just be honest about what you want, what you're trying to do, and nobody can embarrass you at that point. Whatever is out there is out there. And if somebody gets hurt and tries to embarrass you, there is nothing, because it's like you weren't ever hiding anything in the first place. But I do feel like it's very childish, and it's just a way to get back at somebody. It's
And Donna is correct. She just put in the chat, plus that is a narcissist sign, red flag, smear campaign. And when I first heard the question, that's exactly what I thought, because that's absolutely something a narcissist would do, because they are hateful and they
Hmm.
are full of revenge and they do not like to lose. So the smear
absolutely.
campaign will usually come, and it's funny because people think it comes after relationship, but normally the narcissist is smearing you all along within the relationship during the relationship. This is how they
Yeah.
Yeah.
operate. So Donna is absolutely correct.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. They always have to be above you or better than you, or it's always about that image, and them being more than whoever, everybody,
Right.
ain't nobody better than them. And it should always go their way. So if something isn't going their way, they're damn sure gonna try to make it so that you're not gonna just go away just clean slate.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
All right.
they're
So
they yeah.
here's a question for the panel in the chat. Um,
Mhm.
while dating, my end goal will always be to find someone for long term. How long while this man is courting you and you guys are dating should you make before you'll make this serious? How much time should pass before you'll make it serious? What's a good time to say let's make it serious?
Do you want me to take that one, April, or you? You
Yeah,
want to take?
yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. As far as time frame, that is different from everyone, but there are factors you have to consider when you're dating and you have a specific purpose like marriage and babies. We all know that women have a shelf life in that babies, babies area. So if you see yourself getting, close to the time where it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, for you to have children, and you're of a certain age or what have you, then you really cannot afford to waste too much time with someone who's waffling and wobbling and doesn't know. If they don't know, then the answer is no. And
Yeah.
I think it's just very important because, like Chef was saying earlier, you have to understand. This is very important to understand that time is the only commodity that exists that cannot be replenished. That's the
Mm,
only thing you can't get back. You can lose everything else. God forbid, family members, children, husbands, and wives. Everyone dies. You can lose it. But you can also go and get another husband or a wife. Not that that will replace someone. I want y'all to understand what I'm saying because I've had a spouse die. So, I'm not being insensitive here. But the reality is that you can remarry. And if you can still have children, you can have another child, right? So, but
Right.
time, you can't replenish that. Once it's gone, it's gone. So you have to be very, very specific about how you're going to spend your time, who you're going to spend it with, what you accept and what you won't. You have to be a beast in this dating game right here. You cannot afford to be soft. You got to be a beast with it. And no apologies. No
Ab-
apologies.
Unapologetic. Unapologetic.
yeah.
Real. Don't play with my time. That will get you ousted real quick. I'm just telling you.
Mm,
You don't let nobody.
yeah.
Don't let nobody do that to you for real. Yo, I'm glad you piggybacked off of that. That just gave me great energy. I appreciate that verbal. That was dope. I like that. For real, for real.
Mm.
All right. So let me read some of the chat. Question from Donna to everyone on the panel. Give two signs the man is never going to marry me. He knows that is something the lady wants from him. He's the one you can jump in on it. How
Oh,
much?
so you're asking for two signs that he doesn't want to marry you.
Yeah.
I would say the number one sign would be um avoiding the topic altogether.
Absolutely.
You
Uh
you
huh.
don't want to even
Absolutely.
talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Yeah, you don't want to really commit to anything. They're either, working on themselves or focused on this, or we got a good thing going, or, all that kind of stuff. They just avoid the topic altogether. Verbal, what do you think the next one would be?
Well, I
A
absolutely
second.
agree with that. Uh, like you said, they dodge the question, they change the subject, or they chuckle it off and make excuses.
Yeah.
So yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And let's see what another one would be. Well, how about the old saying that people don't like, but unfortunately, let's argue, y'all can be mad. But why buy the milk if you get the cow for free? So if you're running around here acting like a damn wife, you're cooking dinners and you're cooking breakfast and you're cleaning houses and you're doing laundry and you're sexing on demand, then
Uh-huh.
you're a pretend starter wife who is now giving him absolutely no incentive to marry you. Period.
None.
He allows you to enable him, so to speak.
Right.
No doubt. I
Yeah.
So
agree.
so yeah, the first one, what April said, is exactly what I was thinking, the avoiding and the dodging and the excuses of why you can't. And you've been with this man for like, I say to me, if you're over 30, I think that a year of dating, courting, getting to know each other, I think that's enough time. And honestly, I believe that men know whether or not you're wife material for them or they want to marry you long before that.
Right.
Long before that. So I'm being generous with a year. Okay.
I,
Because remember, we don't have time to waste here, right, guys? We don't have time to waste. So we're being
right.
generous.
I totally agree. With you
Right.
with the first answer, that's the number one answer I think all across the board. He's not even engaging in that conversation. But as a man, if you got to check for me because I'm not giving you time, then that's it right there. And I'm giving you that as a man.
Right. Right.
A man should be strategic with his time. I know how much time is devoted to making money. And I know how much time I got between sleep and making money that I give to that woman of my choice. Now, if I got 4 hours and you're only getting a half an hour out of that 4 hours, there's an issue. And I'm just giving you game.
Mhm. Mhm.
Absolutely.
Okay, and let me just say real okay, let me add this in here real quick because I was starting to speak on this topic earlier and just get what you think about this. Okay, so there is a popular social media life coach, right? And he's supposed to be, he's self-proclaimed a relationship expert, and he says um 2 to 3 years. Like your 2 to 3 years, you give a man before he will basically before you say nah, like you just let it go or whatever as far as him committing to marriage. And then he goes even further to say that, he says a lot of men they marry and they aren't even in love yet. They don't even a lot of men don't even fall in love until after they get married because they just basically do it to make the woman happy. But that 3 year thing, like commit to 3 years
I
just to
can't. I
see if
can't
a
do it.
person is
I
going
can't
to
do it.
marry you.
No. No. I don't know who this is they're actually talking about. I do watch a couple of them, or I have watched a couple of them. But we have to understand that we're also listening to a man's perspective, right?
Yeah.
Who has not all men, and men don't have as long as they think they do, but who men have a longer reproductive window than women
Yeah.
do. So they
Yeah.
have they feel that they have more time to try you out. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
I'm not a tryout. You will not be trying me out. I will not be, performing for you. It's just not going to happen. And the reason why I can say that for me is because I have taken time apart away from relationships and spent time with myself and pampered myself and loved myself and dated myself so that I can have the self love and the confidence that I need to reject bullshit. I'm sorry, can I say that on your channel? Bullshit.
Yeah,
But
you
you
good. You
know,
good.
it learning how to walk away is a skill that every woman has to learn. And me personally, I just think there's no three years is good for teenagers. You know what I mean? They're not ready to actually marry
Uh-huh.
anyway. So if you're
Right.
18 and 19, you're dating, 3 years, that's fine. And you still probably aren't ready, you know?
Right.
But when we're in our 30s, in our 40s, and you're talking about
Right.
3 years, if you don't go somewhere with that, I do no, no, no. Because the thing is, you're gonna wait 3 years. He's not gonna marry you. You're gonna break up, and then 6 months later, he's gonna be married to the broad down the street. Facts.
Thank you. Thank
Fact.
That's
you.
how it's gonna go. So
And
don't play yourself.
that's why we having this conversation. Salute to
Thank
that.
you.
And I apologize, you guys, but I'm really passionate about this topic and dating. I've had a lot of experiences. I've had to bump my head. I've had to learn the hard way because I did not have anyone to teach me. So I had to learn
Yeah.
things myself through trial and error and reading and self help seminars and books and talking to other people. I had to learn these things. So I'm really passionate about it because I don't want women to make the same mistakes that I have made in wasting too much time when they absolutely do not have to.
Mm-hmm.
Telling
So
I agree.
forgive me if I'm sounding too, but I'm just really passionate about this kind of topic.
You good, verbal.
Well, it's really important. It's really important, you know, not only with dating, but anything that we do in life. Time, you can't get it back. Once it's gone, it's gone. You'll look back 10 years later, you still trying to do some shit just don't do it. Just don't do it. You feel your instincts tell you when something is wrong or right. Just listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Just just like your head hurts and you got to take care of that, whatever. You might have an ache or a pain and your body tells you when you need to rest. Your instincts tell you when you need to let something go and you just need to listen to it and move on and stop sending yourself through all these changes that you don't have to go through.
Right. My
Yeah.
my email is sociallybalancedsoaps@gmail.com. Could one of the moderators put it in the chat for me, please? Sociallybalancedsoap@gmail.com.
Yeah, and what Donna was saying, she just put in here. Now you have men that will do slick crap, breadcrumbs. He gets you engaged. He gets you an engagement ring just to string you along when you're still engaged for over 2 year break. See, and that's ridiculous to me. Once he gives you the ring, in the next couple of days, you need to be talking about a date. It's time to start planning. That's the signal. And if he doesn't want to plan, then he's giving you the ring to basically put a placeholder on you so you don't go anywhere and to shut you up for talking about marriage or what have you. And at the end of the day, he's being selfish. So if you get an engagement ring and he's not trying to plan the wedding, I wouldn't give the ring back because I'm hypergamous, so I need that. But he's gonna have you. You need to chuck up the deuces and become scarce. Become scarce with your time and attention. That's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. Absolutely. Yo, what's up? Land Run. Now she wants all my shit. What is he talking about? Was married for
Uh,
17 years. One day, girl just left. Now she want all your shit. Oh, okay. I was bringing in 100 150,000. I had 2 kids, and the bitch just started looking for something new. I'm sorry.
Was he satisfying her sexually?
I'm sorry you went through that, good brother. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the way you're putting it in the chat. So yeah, man, it happened. Go ahead, verbal. I was just
I
reading.
was just wondering if he was satisfying her sexually.
oh.
Mm, he'll let you know.
I mean, of course he's going to be like, "Oh yeah, I put it down. I did that." Yeah, of course he's going to say that, but we don't have her side. We don't know what she's saying.
He'll let you know.
I don't know. I mean, just like men get bored and don't get what they want from a woman and go looking, women do the same thing. Women need to be satisfied too. And what I'll say about that is that, um, you have to teach a person how to treat you and please you, okay? A lot of times, for the most part, when you meet people in dating and stuff like that, they are going to, you can kind of tell what type of person they dealt with before or
Hmm.
prior to, um, and they will try to implement those same tactics on you. They'll try to treat you the same way. They'll try to please you the same way as they've done with other people. And if it's not working for you, you need to teach them that. You need to set those boundaries and have those conversations. And if either they're gonna conform or they're not. So, but you can't, like, I can't go and try to be with a man and treat him the same way I did somebody else. I have to listen to his needs and figure him out and watch him and learn him.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
if it works with us, then it works.
Well, that's what
So
I'm
yeah.
saying too. I think men and women need to have that song. What you just said about how a man will try to treat you the way he treated the last one. I mean, because that's what he's used to getting away with. But
Yeah.
I think we're all on this panel old enough to remember that song. What is it? "Love Me in a Special Way." Is that by Switch or El DeBarge?
Mm.
you know
Oh,
and I think that
mhm.
that should be men and women's mantra, because you're a unique individual, and the way that you need to be loved is going to be different from the next person. And so I think we need to embrace how we need to be loved and let a person know, listen, you're dealing with me, you're not dealing with the last one, you're not dealing with the one that you might have you're dealing with me, and this is how it's going to go down if you want to be with me. And if you can't do that, then you can't be with me, and it's good. You got to be
Hmm.
good. Again, goes back to being good with walking away.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
like Land of Run.
You have to be willing to walk away. I, I don't care if you love, I'm sorry, just hold on. I don't care if you love somebody down to their side, whatever. You have to be willing to walk away for yourself. You
Right,
have to love yourself more than you love another person, and you have to stand for something. You can't just let shit just go. You know what I'm saying? Because
right.
if you're not willing to walk away and that person knows that,
Oh man,
they're going to,
faster.
it's bad. It's bad. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to walk away. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just to be honest and for transparency, I literally love someone right now that I know that I can't be with because that relationship will not work. But I think when what we do and what I had to really work on and remember and work on myself with in this situation is that you can continue. It's okay to love someone. There's nothing wrong with loving someone. You love who you love, but you can love
Yeah.
people from afar.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You can love them and they not love you. It's okay, because you loving them has nothing really to do with them loving you. You just love who you love and you love them for why you love them. But you have to be okay with the fact that they might not feel the same, or they may not love you, or you might not be able to be in a relationship with them. And don't beat yourself up because you love someone that you feel like you shouldn't love. We put all these shoulda, woulda, couldas on ourselves, and we guilt our own selves, and beat our own selves down. Like, why do I love this man still? Why do I love this woman still? There's no why. You just feel the way you feel, and it's okay. But know, to April's point, that loving yourself is the most important. And you can love them from afar and show love and healthy respect to yourself. And if it goes away, it
Yeah.
goes away. And if it doesn't, it just doesn't. But you can have a good life. Just loving them, but they just need to be over there. You know what I mean? Sometimes they
Hmm.
just need to be over there.
Word. Yeah, I'm big on love until you can't love no
Yeah.
more. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I am. Now I'm old school. Love a lot of emotion. I'm big on it. It's the way that, for me, you don't have to agree, but it's the way that we show appreciation for the person's effort. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It shows that their efforts are valuable to you
Mhm.
because that's what it is. You're making sure that they know that you love them and vice versa. They should be doing the same thing. It should be mutual.
Mhm.
Now everybody's effort isn't going to be the same, and that's where the problem lies. So if I give a lot, right? If I'm a lover and I give a lot, and I'm very emotional, and I'm all of that, I shouldn't expect the same exact thing, but I should expect something, some sort of effort.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because just because I'm a chef, I don't go into every situation thinking that the woman should know how to cook. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving that as an example. I know that's petty. I just want you to understand what I'm saying. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I don't. If she can't cook, it's a deal breaker. No, that's not how it works. We got to bend and fold a little bit to make the person perfect for you. Nobody's perfect.
No.
Person will be perfect for you in time. And there's things you're gonna disagree with, and there's things that you're gonna be right dead smack in the middle. The most important thing is how do you get to those points? How much effort is put in getting to those situations? See, if you don't uncover these things, that means you're not putting forth the effort to getting to know a person. Because I can go on and on and on and on and on, and I promise you, there's things about me that you won't know as a woman if you don't dig. Because I'm not gonna just lay it out for you.
Mhm.
So
Well, where effort
when
comes.
go ahead.
I
I'm,
just said that's where effort comes in.
mm-hmm,
You know, you have to
absolutely,
learn who you're dealing with.
absolutely. My
Yeah, go ahead.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Nah, go ahead.
No, what I was saying is what you were saying is that it might not be the same, and that's true because everyone's different, but it does need to be enough for you. The effort they put in needs to be pleasing to you and
Mm-hmm.
enough. It might not be at your same level, but it does need to be.
Right. It needs to be fulfilling. It
Yeah, it
needs to
has. Yeah.
satisfy you. Absolutely. I can
Yeah.
tell you certain things that I don't expect is the most fulfilling for me. Like I'm clean. I'm a clean individual, right? I never, and this is the first time for everything. I never expected for a woman to come over and clean on top of me being clean because I'm clean. You know what I'm saying? And it just that's the type of woman I wanted, and it just showed me, wow, that little thing, something as little as that, is what you should value, and it blew me out of the water because, and I kid you not, that person had the most wonderful personality, and
Mhm.
anything, if anybody should take the blame for that situation, it's me.
Mhm.
I know I'm crazy, but
Mhm.
she had a great personality, is what I'm saying, and that the effort that she went to show me that, hey, I like you. Look, I done came here and washed your dishes. You had two bowls and you fed me, and I washed both the dishes. I'm just showing you that, you know, I'm ready to go there with you because that's better than receiving a gift from someone. Like it's like, oh wow, she folded my clothes for me. I was doing laundry. I told her she could sit down and watch TV, and she got up to help me fold clothes. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's just
Mhm.
those are the things that get me.
Yeah.
That's what I look for. That's what
Little things that women do like to do. You know,
yeah.
we like to do those little. But I think when I was talking about earlier, not buying the child, and if you get the milk for free, I think it's the auditioning part, which I've seen women do, where they just go overboard and act like a wife and do everything prove themselves worthy. And that's different than I'm coming to your house, chef, and you're cooking, and I go, you're like, oh, relax, whatever. And I go sit and relax and watch a movie, and I see it. And I'm like, and we've been dating for a minute. And then I'm like, oh, let me just fold these clothes while I'm sitting here watching TV. I don't have anything else to do. He's cooking me a great meal. It's just a kindness. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
different
Right.
than just
Right.
auditioning to be someone's wife.
Yeah. I've been growing. And these are the things that I embrace because if you don't, you can miss a lot, man. There's great stuff. There's more great stuff than just scoring. That's why that will never be my end goal because once you like somebody said it earlier, once you did it, then you're just like, right? But you miss everything about the woman that makes her shine. You miss.
Mhm.
So let me ask you a question, Chef. So you said once you get it, I guess you're talking about the yoni. So once you get it, you're like, is that how men feel about having sex with a
Somebody
woman?
somebody said that earlier. I didn't say it. So,
Oh, okay.
that's not my thing. Uh
Okay.
uh. I don't think any yoni that I'm quoting. I don't think it's. It's certain things that's make it but you know what I'm saying. Not too many. Not if I'm quoting it. I mean, so
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So
Mhm.
yeah,
like you said, I think you said earlier that you've dated women or met them and on the first date you ended up having sex, and you said you don't think of them differently, right?
right.
So what is that why don't you think of them differently? What is your reason for not judging them for that?
Okay, so prior to the sexual encounter, we was talking on the phone. We was planning to do stuff. We was planning to maybe go on vacation, a cruise, and stuff of that. None of that changes because we had sex. We're still gonna
Mm-hmm.
do things. We're still
Okay.
gonna put that amount of energy in there, and I'm still hoping to be with you long term. Um, I, during those situations, I'm usually without sex for a long period of time, like you know, three years. I think when that situation happened. So when that did happen, there's no way I can look at that bad because it was like 3 years before I had sex. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what if it's 3 weeks?
Huh? What if was
What if it's 3 weeks? Oh, you're saying 3 weeks before you've had sex in
yeah,
period in
I
general,
right.
not three
Yeah.
years with this one person.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I didn't have
So what do
sex
you
in
think it
3 years.
is about certain men who do judge a woman? Now they were right there with them. They were doing the same thing on the same first date. But they feel that they have some superior position to judge her as some kind of whore or loose woman because she has sex with him on the first date. What do you think that mindset comes from?
Um, a man's insecurity. A whore is a product of a insecure man's mentality
Mm-hmm.
because it's a title. So a woman, a woman,
Okay.
a woman sleeping with a man while she's married, there can be a title for that. You know what I'm saying? And only one that can give her that title is the man that she gave herself to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, sex by trial and error, promiscuous. Some of us have those times in our life. Some come earlier than later. I can't say that you shouldn't be fruitful and you should be labeled for being fruitful. You know what I'm saying? That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say every male feels like that, but I just think that I mean, if a woman belongs to somebody, then if she doesn't belong to nobody, then who are you to tell her? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
that's where I stand on that one. That was a great question, though.
Mm-hmm.
Fell off. Word. Let me read some of the questions in the chat. I've been missing it. All right. So, you in a relationship with a lady that is absolutely phenomenal. The only problem you have with her is sex sucks. Will you stay or go? Um, I'm
How
not.
does sex suck for a man? I don't know. How does that happen?
I was about to say I've never had that experience.
How does
Um,
sex suck for a man?
if I can tell you, I can say if it's not enough, that's when.
Okay.
So if it's like that, man, in 3 months we had sex 3 times. That's once a month, and we had 3 times in 1 month. So there was 2 months of no sex. You know what I'm saying? If it,
Okay.
that could be an issue for me.
That sounds like a man answer, but it's like, oh, the sex was bad. It's just kind of hard to have bad sex with men. That's why women is like, oh, my pussy is good, and it's just, yeah, come on, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
You're
absolutely.
dealing with the men. They just like vagina, so they'll make it work.
Yeah,
They're just happy to be getting it.
right.
So,
But so and another thing, I don't have sex. I have sex. I used to have sex when I was younger. I make love now, and it's definitely a difference. So there's
yeah,
gonna be
it is.
it's definitely. I just don't see it sucking. I like to have fun and have sex. It's not a workout. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Something fun. It's something that you can have. You can lead up to it. You can plan for it. It's ways to go about it. Fun for me. Sometimes it's a horny, spontaneous, like looking at them or like you're horny. You know what I'm saying? It can be that too as well, but that's with somebody that you're with. But for me, it's fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I
Um,
do.
we're gonna do our closing statement. Maybe April will come back up. We've been rocking out for going
Hey,
on.
she's the host, so she needs to come
Yeah,
back up.
we're gonna give our closing statements, and we usually give. You've been here a few times, and we love having you here. So we give our perspective to the people that listen to the chat. You know what I'm saying? And you might want to run interference if they find themselves in a bad situation. So your closing statement should be based off the topic of the chat, which is dating with a purpose. What is your end goal?
Hmm.
Um, you want to take it, you can, and we'll hopefully ask April to come back through. But
What happened to her? She just dropped off.
it's probably the internet or something. Sometimes
Okay.
StreamYards they be messing around a little bit.
Right.
You got yards, so like they'll see that little pink thing saying your connection is disrupted or something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I think since I'm here now, I think it's just really the best way to be able to love someone else properly is to love yourself fully,
Hmm.
um, to accept yourself, flaws and all, because we all have them, to know what it is you want. And when you know that that is what you want, then, along the lines of the title of this stream, you date with that purpose in mind and do not be apologetic about it. You, everyone has every right to love, to be loved, to have love, to grow in love. Everyone has that right. And so you need to embrace that and not be ashamed of it. There's nothing wrong with loving someone. We're human beings. That's what we were put here to do, whether you believe in evolution, creation, whatever. It's our biological need. We are social creatures. And we wouldn't have these feelings within ourselves if we weren't supposed to do something with them. So don't ever, if you're dating someone and they make you feel shame or like you're weak or like there's something wrong with you because you love them, understand that there is 9 times out of 10 something wrong with them, because a lot of times people cannot accept your love because they don't love themselves. They have very low self-esteem, they're insecure, and they don't feel worthy of your love. So they will sabotage those relationships. They will sabotage the relationship with someone who could actually love them and who does love them, just because they feel terrible about themselves. And that's why I'm saying that in order for you to be able to receive love from someone and to give love to someone, you have to start with loving yourself. And it is not an easy thing to do, just because the way we're set up as humans, a lot of times we are our worst critics. But so it takes time, it takes effort to fully value and accept yourself and love yourself. But it is an effort and a journey worth going on. And you have to choose to do that every day. And like I said throughout this stream, you have to be willing to walk away from the table, as Nina Simone said, when love is not being served, if that's what you want. And you have to believe that the universe is there to grant your every wish. So if what you want is to be loved and fully loved and respected, live your life with the confidence that there is someone out there who's going to give you exactly that, exactly that. And it might not happen when you want it to, but it will happen. So that's my closing statement. Just encouragement. I know dating is very hard. I know, I experience it. I'm doing it. But it's a lot easier to date when you have full confidence in who you are and you make no apologies for who you are. And either people are going to like you or they're not, and it's okay if they don't. Everyone's not going to like you, but the one who's for you will love you. And everyone who came before, it'll be a blessing that they left your life.
Mm-hmm. Salute to the verbal assassin coming through with them arrows, with them darts, with them lethal projections of dating knowledge. Salute. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. Welcome. We appreciate you over here on Socially Balanced TV, and we hope to see you again.
Yes. And you can definitely make sure you keep coming up. I know I haven't done a video in a while. It's been about 2 weeks or so, but I'm going to get back on there, and please definitely come back through the chat. You always pretty much show up when I go on,
You know
live.
it.
Please
You
come
know it.
through, and I'm gonna drop that link, and we're gonna get it in. All right.
Batch. Peace and love to you. Spread love, not
Yes.
hate.
Peace to the chat. Peace to your channel. You're doing an awesome job. You seem like a really kind, respectful man, and I respect you. It's all love. Bless you. And April, you did a great job tonight. This was, it was just great. Thank you, everybody, for all the love. Thank you, Chef, for always welcoming me.
Word. Peace and love. Spread love, not hate. Salute to the verbal assassin. Ain't that woman knowledgeable? Ain't she full of knowledge, y'all? Tell me something. Is your mind not elevated? Is the content not lit? Huh? You know? Did we not deliver great content? Let me know. Because that's what I try to do. And Act April came up with a great, great topic. And salute to her. I respect that woman. I respect that queen. I respect the way she carries herself. Act April is a lit content creator that you should take the time to go check out. Today on Socially Balanced TV, she brought to the universe a topic that's really needed around these parts. Dating. How should you approach the person that you're interested in? How much of your guard should you let down to let them know that it's okay for them to come and talk to you and ask for your number? How long should you keep that bitch face on before they decide not to take the opportunity to holler at you? You see, dating is very important when your end goal is marriage. You know what I'm saying? And I really stress that you guys take the time and get to know that person. You know what I mean? Because like I always tell you, time ain't something you can get back once it's gone. I want you to set a standard high, but make sure that it's reachable, right? Because I know in our mind we want the perfect mate, but just like everything in this world, it takes hard work, and with hard work, you can achieve anything, even a great relationship. Take your time to focus on that individual. Lift up every rock, check every hole, look for every sign. Make sure that they value you as an individual. Make sure that they're giving you what you're giving them. Fair exchange. Around these parts, we spread love, not hate. And I like to thank everybody who came through and gave their perspective. All the great people in the chat, all my moderators, all the subscribers. Keep it coming. Don't let nobody hinder anything you got going on. And when it comes to you picking the mate, take your time. It's a trillion people out there. One of them could be for you. Be diligent in your approach. Because we heard tonight on the panel and on the chat, people like consistency. We heard that a lot. People like attention. We heard that a lot. We also like when people listen. We heard that a lot. So be willing to listen. Be willing to take it there. And I promise you, your end goal will be reached. Every story spoken can be a success story. Take your time to date and figure out who it is you're trying to be with for the rest of your life. I like to say thank you again to everybody who showed up. If you're rolling in here now, I can't see the chat, but I appreciate you. I really do. I really do. And this is my closing statement to dating with a purpose. What's my end game? What Chef Disaster end game is to find love, to find real true love. And I will look in every nook and cranny until I find it. I've survived love. I came a long, 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 long way. And I'm here. And I'm happy. And I'm focused. And you guys sharpen me. You are the stone edge to sharpen my blade, to keep me sharp out here and making sure that there's no woman that will take advantage of me or try to manipulate me because we talk about it over here on Socially Balanced TV. And if you get a chance, if you get the time, say thank you to Ash April for her energy tonight. You heard? Peace and love, spread love, not hate. I'd like to say thank you for the super chat from the Verbal Assassin. And I am Rundoon. I am. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. I messed up your name. Land Run. I appreciate that. I definitely do. Y'all stay great. Spread plenty of love. And detox yourself from plenty of hate. When you release the hate from your soul, from your person, you breathe better. You walk better. You date better. You love better. Let's go. I'm out. Peace and love, spread love, not hate. Social Balance TV. The Ash April. Let's go.